Hello, my name is Kevin. I am the Dapper Man. That is Dapperman. And I just want to welcome you to my channel, welcome you to my video. Thank you so much for clicking on this button. I am very much appreciated. If you do wish to, if you want to, give this video a thumbs up, click the like button, comment down below, and subscribe. If you do subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell. Just go ahead and lay that all out, because nothing is more exciting than self-advertisement. Anyhow, I am going to be reviewing the movie Wonder Woman 1984, which was just released just yesterday in theaters, select theaters, and also on HBO Max. Yeah, that's becoming a thing now. So with this movie, I've always been wanting to see this movie since its predecessor that came back in 2017, and I purchased it on Blu-ray at Target. This fantastic edition, and I like it. It's really cool. And what's even more cool is the booklet inside, DVD, Blu-ray, digital copy. But I'm not here to talk about the Wonder Woman movie. I'm here to talk about Wonder Woman 1984. However, before I begin this review, I just had to let you know, when I sat down in the theater at AMC Orange Park, I was at theater room number 23. I had the seat E6. E6 seat was not reclining. The buttons was not working. I went to the guest services. They came and fixed it. After the commercials and the trailers, 20 minutes worth of commercials and trailers, even after all this time, Toho logo came up, and some other movie was playing called Monster Hunter. Yeah. Go figure. I had some bad luck about to watch this movie. This movie was very interesting, though. Let's get into the story part first. It is the 1980s, or in this case, 1984. Diana Prince lives and works as an archaeological artifact expert collector of some sort of museum. I still don't know what her true role is. However, a mysterious rock is in hand that makes someone's wish comes true. A business oilman, Maxwell Lord, has his eyes set on this mysterious rock and is keen on acquiring it. While Diana and her new friend Barbara, who works at the museum as well, learns the secrets of this mysterious rock, they fight to get it back, including bringing back Steve Trevor. Now, I know that's not the best description to give to you, but I think it's a better description than what they say on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes and a couple of others, because I look at it and it's like, oh, that's just, she goes around fighting, kicking butt, and she works in the museum. There's a little bit more to that, so that's why I told you about the mysterious rock, and that's not really giving anything away, because it's just not. So let's begin with the first off thing. It takes this story, this movie, a while to get going. This movie is 2.5 hours, and it takes its time, and when the ball starts rolling, then it starts moving along, it starts gaining traction, and it was very odd for me because it felt like the movie was going nowhere, and I was starting to get that restless leg syndrome. It wasn't working for me. Also, this movie does have a plot hole. Okay, it has numerous plot holes. And the connectivity, if you're trying to add the Batman versus Superman, and if you're trying to do the Justice League and a couple of others, trying to get that into one good story arc, this movie really has no place in connecting those movies, because you have to think about the events that are happening in this movie and in what way, shape, or form is this movie connecting together. It's really not. As I said, this movie does take place in 1984 as a title. It is very interesting because it does not overplay the 80s trope. It does have its tropes. But it's not overplayed, and I enjoy that. Like, I was really expecting to hear this 80s electronical pop music, and it's probably because I'm so much hearing that, and television shows such as the Stranger Things and the Goldbergs and a couple of other movies, when they're doing the 80s, they're really getting into this electronical pop rock music. That music was not played in it. So, again, if I'm spoiling that part, I don't know. Just to let you know, the music composer is Hans Zimmer. And I'm wondering, did Hans Zimmer turned down doing the score for Tenet to do the score for Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot really owns this role as Wonder Woman. If no one really believed her or was still not sure about her and her role as Wonder Woman, like for the past 4 films, this movie, she completely owns it, and she does a spectacular job. I loved every single scene she was inside. Even the scenes that had plot holes or was just playing on this emotional roller coaster ride, which was trying to just be cheesy with emotions, trying to make you feel sorry or feel all kinds of whatever feelings, like a Hallmark channel. She played it very well, and I enjoyed her in these scenes and in this movie. Let's talk about Pedro Pascal. His character as this complex, irrational, emotional villain in this movie worked very well. This man can act. This man can do his role very well. And even though there was a couple of things I didn't really quite understood about his role, which was not, it was very minor compared to some of the other characters, it is very good. I enjoyed him in this movie. Like, he is fantastic. This is probably one of the best villains or villain-like people inside of this DC universe. I just figure I have to say that. So much better than Steppenwolf. And that's a shame. Kristen Wiig is another actress that I very much enjoyed. Her comedic timing was just right. Not as many laughs as you may have expected. Her dramatic role and her facial of expressions was on point. It was fantastic. She had this role as the cheetah, or becoming the cheetah, and just had to say one thing. Her before and the process of becoming the cheetah, fantastic. When she became the cheetah, it was rather very interesting. It is almost as though it was like watching Tom Hardy when he was becoming the Venom, if you remember that, or if you have seen it. And if you haven't, it's okay, you don't have to. But it's not as silly and as ridiculous as that. Not at all. Just, it's borderline right there. The special effects for this movie, it is so-so. It could have been better. There's certain scenes you watch it, you're like, wow, that is amazing, I like that. And then there are certain scenes you're just like, oh, that looks not any better than my PS4 special effects graphics. It looks okay. Like, you can tell, you look at it, it's like, yep, that is completely on screen, and it puts me in this disbelief motive where I'm just like, I don't believe a single thing that's happening in this movie, but hey, it's a popcorn movie, why not? I will say, the colors in this film, it is so much better. It is so much brighter. The colors pop out. It is what you want to see in a Wonder Woman film, especially in a comic book film. And it has the 1984 vibe, like I said previously, just not overbearing on it, so that's a plus. There are certain tropes it has for the 80s, like I said earlier, but it is not overplayed, and the colors works well for this film. Now, Patty Jenkins has directed the last Wonder Woman movie, and she directs this one. I believe she did the screenplay too, and produced it, if I'm correct. But she is the same person behind it, and she takes a different directing approach to this movie. More sillier, more campier. Just not the silly campy that you would expect. Just, it felt like she wanted that comic book vibe to it, which is great. But it just didn't felt right when you get to that comic book vibe. You're like, okay, this is getting silly, it's getting campy, I can buy it, and switch it and try to become as serious as possible. Then switch the game and try to be a Hallmark type movie. And I'm just wondering, like, okay, which way does she want this movie to go? It can go anyway. I would say the third act for this movie is so much better. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was very well done. Although the fight scene I thought could have been better. A lot of the fight scenes could have been better. I always have that thing that when the fight scene is happening, if you're doing it, show the entire fight scene. Don't do close-ups of someone punching into something. If you're doing it just for a slow motion effect, I guess it's good, okay? but I want to see the whole scene. I want to see that entire body leaning against the entire other body as they're laying him down, smacking him down. She had some of the scenes down right. And there were certain parts where they did so much of a close-up. I'm like, oh, just like the last one. So many close-up scenes. Just let me appreciate everything around. Let me appreciate that. That's what I was wanting. I didn't get that too much. Such as the very beginning where everything was so overly CGI'd, you could tell what was happening. So I guess when there was CGI, they want you to appreciate the CGI. But when you're in the moment, like the mall fighting scene, which I thought was okay. I mean, it led to nowhere. It really did. It led to nowhere. The opening scene led to nowhere. And that's my point where I talked about how long the movie is earlier. 2.5 hours long is a long movie. I mean, you have to be very careful of how you're making a movie and how you edit it. This movie was 30 minutes too long, and I believe it will start creating your children, teenagers, or yourself, such as myself, who has no children. Start getting that restless leg syndrome. And I was getting that halfway through the movie, like, okay, come on, let's go somewhere. This movie is very family-oriented and is derived for families. So I guess that's a plus, because that's where Patty Jenkins is trying to open this movie towards a younger audience. And that's great. But you don't want that movie too long. You gotta remember who your audience is. And there was a certain scene where Wonder Woman discovers something within 30 seconds. And it was like, you know you're buying this, you know you accept this, and I was like, no, I'm not really accepting that. Why? What happened? How did this character came and discovered something in 30 seconds? Like, boom, this is the new thing now. Why? It could have been a better approach to it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not telling you what it is, but I am trying to keep this spoiler free, but I would say you could have did better than that. Also, there would be a line that I think that would tick a lot of people off, maybe. I know it made me think, like, what was the point of that? And that was when a character said, I hate guns. And you're just like, okay. And nothing. Just said it. And it was like they looked at the audience. If they could just look at the audience and said, like, I hate guns. And you should too.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
I don't hate guns, but sure, okay. And there's a scene that some people may think, like, you're pointing your finger at a particular person, you know, that person. It's not what I think the internet is going to be blowing up and saying, like, this movie's anti this person. It's not. It just played it right on the borderline, like it was going to say something, but it didn't. So, you can take that for what it is. And also, just saying, with that, this movie is... it's good. It's not very good. It's not excellent. It's not bad. It's just on that good, okay level. Like, I believe it took a step down, maybe 2 steps down than the previous one. The previous one, loved it. I think that was excellent. I thought it was very good. This one just took those steps down. You're like, oh, come on. Don't do that to me. And it did. But, however, I will let you know, if you are a Wonder Woman fan, you will love the closing credits scene. Just be sure to stick around or just fast forward to it. I don't know how HBO Max works. I'm pretty sure it's like a streaming. You could fast forward it. That end scene, fantastic. There is nothing at the end credits but the closing credits. So if you're going to fast forward to the very end, there's nothing at that. And this movie is PG-13. So for you wondering why this movie is rated PG-13, what's inside, this film is a lot tamer than the last one. Like I said, it's more family friendly. Here is the reason why it's PG-13. That is for you, for your viewing pleasure or whatever. That is my review. That is all I have for you. So I'm just saying, yeah, go ahead. Watch it. It's not that bad. It's okay good. It's not fantastic. I mean, it's not as, great as the last one. And it's certainly not as terrible as the other DC movies we've had. But it's still watchable. I enjoyed it. And I know I will be owning it because I like to add it to my collection. I just hope they don't go too far in this spectrum where they're going to go unsure and not make the movies too much longer. I think this should be the longest they should ever make a movie, unless it's like I don't know, the Avengers Endgame, that made sense to make it that long, but they could have made it shorter. That's my thing on it. And tell me about you. Tell me about what superhero movie did you enjoy? What superhero movie did you like? What's your favorite of the DC movies? Let's get that way. What's your favorite DC movie? So let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you down to the next movie review. So until then, take care, have a lovely day, and a Happy New Year. It's going to be New Year's, so yeah, Happy New Year's. Let's go into this new year strong and remembering that we are blessed with so much. Well, that's it. That's all I have to say. Cheers.